Hi, this is Sam Rosen, and I'm here with Sam's Situation.
Good afternoon, and welcome into the corner. It's Chris's Corner here on Spreaker.com, a national sports affiliate.
Hello, and welcome to the Cameron Sadeghi Show.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the
Hello, and welcome everybody. It is Cameron Sadeghi here with Nick Rice. You probably heard this show a while back. We were promising, hey, we're going to do one, and I think we're going to continue this routine if we, whenever we get a chance. This show is a lot of fun to do. Nick, before we get things started, you want to introduce yourself?
Hey guys, I'm Nick Rice, and obviously if you want to catch us all throughout national sports, make sure to tune in, obviously, to Spreaker.com. We, Nick and Andrew, me alongside Mr. Goldstein, we do a show called NFL Goal Line Live on this broadcast too. You can catch Cameron on a number of his shows too, including, I don't know if you're still doing the Cameron Sadeghi show, but I know you're doing a number of other ones, including this one right here, Cameron.
Yeah, In the Paint, like the promo, like the, Jordan's doing a good job. NBA Today, something we'll get that going too, and some NFL shows during the season, maybe some college basketball. I want to get to a big issue. It's been trending all over the place. Ryan Braun issuing an apology when he admitted taking performance-enhancing drugs during his NL MVP season of 2011. Look, my take on this, again, I'm a little disappointed in the baseball community and just baseball fans in general. I gotta say this, and this may be kind of a bold statement, but they've got to be one of the more gullible fans that you can find. How could somebody, really believe in anybody who says that they don't take steroids? I know that's so, mean, or that may come across in a really bad way, but hey, if someone says I'm not taking steroids, I'd still wonder. I'm not going to trust what they say. And then, Ryan Braun, it's almost, he almost seems like the good guy, like he's trying to hide the issue, trying to seem like the good guy. I didn't get it, and it's like everybody's rooting for him, and it just, to me, it never made any sense, and I want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, well, see, the thing is with these MLB fans is that in the game of baseball, obviously, it's just ages behind the other top sports in America, obviously. I mean, you're talking about of all the other sports. I mean, you're going from hockey to, I believe even high school baseball has, in some cases, instant replay. Then we're looking at a pro game that doesn't even have the sort of know-abouts to actually implement something like instant replay, something as simple as that. And when you can't implement it into your game, and along with all these other things that is losing the fan base, you're getting a whole bunch of fans that, that have been around the game for way too long, that love its pastime, and frankly is used to so many people being honest, and nowadays people flat out aren't being as honest anymore from all these scandals recently. The A-Rod situation obviously being the biggest and most pressing issue right now.
And it just bothers me. It just seems the game is so outdated, just all the way through. The mentality is outdated.
5 hours long, Cameron. Would you watch 5 hours of a baseball game?
I mean, well, on TV, I love how whenever you turn on the TV and it's like, the game's from 5 to 8, and you're like, really? 5 to 8? And now you're sitting and it's 12 in the morning and you're at the extras and it's the bottom of the 15th and you want to slam your head into a wall. I mean...
You want to throw a baseball on the TV.
Yeah, I just...
Show them how to pitch.
I'm a little disappointed in the game, and I don't like it when sports or traditions or anything that tries to live on its past. I've never been a fan of things or places or just always trying to live on its past and has nothing new to provide. I mean, seriously, baseball...
Take notes from, the basketball and obviously professional football communities where they're always progressive. They're always changing. We'll get to this topic later on, but when it comes to rule changes in the NFL, we've seen a number of those just in the last year and a half involving safety and other issues with equipment and so on and so forth. So it seems to me that baseball is stuck in its past from like a half year ago or a half century ago. I mean, what new have they done in the last 50 years other than added all these new issues to the game and start suspending people, including Brian Braun, who I just want to mention real quick, is punished more for the argument versus the actual action. It just seems to me it wasn't Brian Braun, but who was it that was also penalized? Wasn't it like Brian Braun was penalized like 5 games or something like that for his situation with the MLB?
Well, he's suspended for the rest of the season, but A-Rod is going like 200 plus, and it's I think the suspensions are bad too. But you mentioned the NBA. I know you cover the NBA like a snuggie, and I cover the NFL rather, and I cover the NBA. Yeah, basically. I don't know where that came from, but whatever. We'll let it go. The NBA, the rules have changed. I think, the scoring wise, and I'm really happy like with the NBA. Now they can play zone defenses in the NBA. There's no more of the illegal defense rule. That's the most silly rule, or even illegal offense. I mean, those are the 2 silliest rules, and they finally got.
I do want to add to that point. It seems like not just for the NBA, but it seems like the Lakers are the biggest as far as the Achilles heel of just living in the past. I mean, they have banked upon making big-time free agent moves at the center position. And recently, I mean, in the past with Wilt Chamberlain and so many others, that worked out at that position. But recently with Dwight Howard, Pau Gasol, just things have not worked out for
the reason why is because, the reason why they've always been a big man oriented. You know what the Lakers, what they're not understanding as a franchise as a whole. And I've said this like a zillion times, but some people say no, you're right. Yes, you're wrong. Yes, you're right. The thing is, they always go with the big man, and it's a guard oriented game.
Absolutely.
And the fact that people to blame Howard should be ashamed of themselves. Because, frankly, that system's horrible. Steve Nash can't get into a defensive stance. Kobe has to carry that offensive load, and he's a gunner. Gasol is he's really struggled due to injuries. And the bench, I think some of us here at this channel can play better off the bench. I mean, Jody Meeks can't really create for anybody else. Look, that's a whole different story. I don't want to get into that. But I got it.
Their bench is, we're talking about like the Charlotte Bobcats. If you don't have Kobe Bryant in, they have nobody outside of Kobe, in my mind, of the Lakers have. And that's going to be a huge situation, salary cap-wise. They go from literally NBA champions like two or three years in a row, and then now they are seriously a joke. I mean, to be quite honest with you, it's going to be a laughable scenario watching them play.
And then I just want to, because you mentioned, and I know this is beyond the box score here, you mentioned salary cap.
Catch that out, by the way, if we do more of those shows, guys.
Yeah. With the salary cap, to me, in the NBA, I love how they've come down hard on some of these big market teams. Because, it's almost like you can buy championships or in the NBA a little bit, and the big markets get all the advantages. But now you got teams who are doing well in the draft, getting good guys, getting guys from the draft, and I think that's good too. I think you need to be able to. I think other teams should have the ability to work off of the draft. What do you think? Because I know you talk about the NFL a lot. What do you think about the salary cap issues there?
Yeah, well, I mean, the basketball seems to be one of those situations. If you're not a big market team, you seriously, it takes a couple of really great drafts to even improve yourself. That's why the NFL is such a fantastic sport. We saw the Colts I mean, sure, Andrew Luck was fantastic, but they drafted really, really solid offensive players in T.Y. Hilton and Kobe Fleener later on in the draft, and you just see that team completely transformed with those players. In the MLB, this is probably the worst league when it comes to free agent moves. Like, the Yankees, for the longest time, have just banked. They've lived and died off of these free agents, and when you're such a big franchise, you're just buying your way to championships. A really sorry scouting report does nothing as far as if you can bring in the greatest in the game right to your locker room in seriously just an instant. So I honestly think that the MLB might be in some big-time trouble if we see the same team making it to the World Series every year. But to that point, the St. Louis Cardinals have done fantastic in the draft, and look what they're. I mean, look how talented they are in the major leagues.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with you on all those points. It's just.
Yeah, of course you do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's hard that we ever disagree on something, only if it's David Akers. Okay, let's move on to awful announcing. .com, ESPN pulls out of the PBS documentary on NFL concussions. I don't know. I'm a little, again, disappointed in ESPN. I feel like, and I know they have a contract with the league, a big contract. Do you think that that ESPN is trying not to reveal some things to the viewing public that may hurt the NFL? And since they know they have the contract, they don't want to ruin themselves either. Are you there? Hello?
Oh, actually, sorry about that, guys. I just cut off for the longest moment there. Cameron, can you repeat the question?
Okay, yeah, that's perfectly fine. Okay, so ESPN pulls out of the PBS documentary on NFL concussions. I'm wondering what you have to say about this because they've got the big contract, Monday Night Football, tons of NFL shows. You know, they have a really good relationship with the NFL. Do you think that ESPN is only doing this because they're afraid to maybe reveal something about that the viewing public, we don't know, and they're afraid that the image of the league will go down as well as their ratings and viewership?
I mean, absolutely. The NFL is in a really tough predicament here because you're stuck literally between a brick wall and a hard place because you're getting these NFL players that are bashing the league for...
He's gone, but we'll try to get him back really quickly here. So I'm going to give you my take right now with this, and then we'll get him back on. So basically, I have to agree. I think he's going to say this, but I have to agree. I think the NFL and ESPN, I think ESPN's kind of afraid to maybe reveal something. And wait, go ahead. I was gonna go right ahead about what you were gonna say.
Well, I mean, the thing is, with the head injuries and the lower leg injuries, NFL stick between a brick wall and a hard place because if they do more to prevent injuries to the upper part of the head from the shoulders up, then you're going to have a much more prideful, much more hard-found situation here with so many players being anti the league now with all these injuries that are going to bang you for an entire season with the knees and even longer where you can't really run the same after a knee injury. And then if you are stuck with these head injuries, then you have another situation where now you're having a lot more lawsuits against the league with all of these brain injuries. So it's a very touchy situation, and I think ESPN is trying to create some sort of a cushion if indeed they are questioned or they say something that's a little bit skeptical. They have some backing now with these documentaries on the NFL concussions. But interestingly enough, of all of these channels to pull out for ESPN in this aspect, it would be PBS. Interesting situation here.
Yeah, I'm a little, and you know what, I have to say this too. I don't believe, though, that if ESPN did do this, that I don't think the NFL would censor anything. I know there are other leagues, like in golf. I mean, in the PGA tournament, if I go on the air, I mean, Jack Whitaker, I mean, I heard Bob Costas say this once. Jack Whitaker said something about the golf course was a little, slippery or something, and he said he compared it to bikini wax, or I don't know what reference he used, but he was banned off the air for 3 years. So it's not by the PGA. So it's not like the NFL censors, what you say. So even if ESPN did do this, I don't think it would make the NFL a little worried, but they're not one of those crazy, mafia-like organizations that's going to censor everything. And personally, would they take a hit? Yes, but I don't think ESPN, even if they did do this, would try to publicize this at all. I think they'd put it on PBS and hardly, maybe not even say a word about it, and just hope for viewers to find out where it is. So I think ESPN made the smart business decision, but on their integrity level, it goes a little down in my opinion. I don't know about you.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, they are the worldwide leader in sports. I honestly think that the NFL, they are in a tough situation, but as far as ESPN is concerned, they have made the biggest profit on publicizing the NFL. They've been, for a lot of people, the best reporting channel around when it comes to the National Football League.
Not for me, but okay.
Job. Absolutely. But the thing is here, it's just more of a business decision. I think when it really comes down to it, it's all about the money. When you have more partners together working for the same common goal, kind of like some people like Nick and Cameron kind of do, try to create the best reporting for you. 2 is better than 1 because teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Okay, so, yeah,
We're making the dream work right now.
Yeah, the NFL, I think unlike, the thing I really enjoy about the NFL, though, is that they don't, again, censor. Of course, if somebody drops an F-bomb on the broadcast, the CBS or whatever the
network.
network.
It's a little bit different. They don't show everything. But I think you're about to hit a point. I think the NFL does a really good job at compromising to the fans to give us what we want to hear. As far as, not to everyone, but we see freaking 23 hours a day some Jets quarterback competition talk, and then we see for the other hour a day we see Tim Tebow, what he's doing around the National Football League. So they always seem to find a way to cater to the fans. Fantasy football, so many other things. I'm sick and tired of the Jets. But to be quite honest with you, the NFL caters to its fans unlike any other business. And, it gives you these entertaining shows like...
First Take, just kidding.
In the Paint with Nick and Cameron. Yeah. A lot of entertaining shows reporting the NFL.
Well, so are you taking a direct shot at ESPN, like indirectly without saying their name?
Well,
yeah, you are. Just admit it.
This last time, Skip Bayless definitely puts... it hampers their ability to be a really great reporting team when you have Skip Bayless telling everyone that Tim Tebow's a great quarterback. Immediately turn it to a different channel.
Yeah, okay, so someone wants to call in, but they haven't called in right now. We'll see if they'll call in and get them on.
What's our call-in number, by the way?
Oh, exactly, 949-456-2911, 949-456-2911. Beyond the Box Score with Cameron and Nick. Let's take a quick little break, and then we'll be back in a moment.
With National Sports
Cameron Sadeghi, Chris Sylvester, Sam Rosen, Andrew Goldstein, Daniel Levy, and the entire broadcast crew with Commissioner Robert Dieters. You are live from National Sports Radio Station in Los Angeles, California.
Back here, National Sports, ready to go. Quick little break there, and I want to go on to something kind of a little funny. We were talking about this off the air the other day. Announcer impersonations. You have a really funny one. The Colts radio announcer. So when the Colts win, he says...
We'll give you a complete insight into exactly who I believe is one of the most overrated announcers of all time. Obviously, if you guys are tuning in, you guys know at least something about the National Football League. And frankly, I think that the Colts announcer, I mean, outside of his extremely high-pitched voice, I think he does a relatively good job. We're gonna give you guys an insight on this Colts announcer as soon as we get it. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember, but when the Colts beat the Patriots on a last-second touchdown, it's the rated as one of the highest ranked broadcasters as far as talent goes in the NFL right now is the Colts announcer going, "Colts win, Colts win." Just the high-pitched voice of the man over there in Indianapolis.
Oh my God, Chris!
He does a fantastic job.
Oh my God.
Making the fans feel fantastic.
Who is your
Rob Lamey, by the way, he just does a really nice job at.
By the way, real quick, Steven's begging to call in. We're going to let him on. Here we go.
What's up?
Hello, Steven. What do you want to say here on Beyond the Box Score?
I want to bring up what, if you guys haven't talked about it yet, about, Ryan Braun and his admission to using PEDs. And if you haven't read it, it's pretty sincere. It's pretty, legit that, he made a mistake. And, he actually said that, hey, I made a mistake and this is how I did it. And he's talking about how he had to put cream on his leg or something like that. Or a short rehab, injury, recovering type of thing. It's kind of like icing hot, but actually makes everything feel better. But I was very pleased that it came out front. I do lose a lot of credibility for him because he did lie that hey, I did take PEDs in 2011, but now he's really bringing it, putting all the chips on the table and admitting it right now. But I still give him a lot of respect that he came up and he just brought it all out today, and I think it's a good day for him. I think that he needs to get this off his chest for a little while.
Nick, you take the crack at it.
Well, Steven, obviously, everyone makes mistakes, and it's really nice for this young man to take a big stand and to come forward with the mistakes that he's made. I mean, everyone in sports, at some point makes mistakes. I mean, don't look any farther than what's going on with the Eagles right now with their own receiver situation there. They've had a number of interesting situations to excite that Eagle locker room. But, I mean, when it comes to this situation, everyone makes mistakes. It's glad to see that he's taken a stand and done the manly thing, the gentlemanly thing, taking a stand in the in becoming a better person and saying something like that.
Yeah, I think when we came on here and said, I understand he should apologize. He did the right thing apologizing, and everybody does make mistakes, and I've always believed in second chances, but there's got to be a point where the MLB, it almost seems like, I know that it may seem crazy what's going to come out of my mouth, but they almost seem blind to this. To some fans, I mean, I've always believed that the fans, they put the players at a whole different level. whenever MLB players make a mistake, it's like, oh, it's all right. I mean, if an NBA player were to take roids, they would be grilled if an NBA player took if God forbid, and I know LeBron doesn't take roids. TJ Quinn of ESPN said no, so I believe what he has to say. But if LeBron, God forbid, if he came out and said, I took steroids, everybody, in the 2012 season for my first championship ring, you don't think it would be an uproar? I mean, people would be going absolutely crazy. But
hey, I still want to bring up a point about that. In 2009, A-Rod admitted that he took steroids when he was with the Rangers in his early days before he moved to, his short time in Texas before he went to New York. That was in 2009. That same year, A-Rod was on the Yankees when they won the World Championship. And people were pretty stir about that, like, hey, he just admitted it, he won a World Series.
They were disturbed, but did they do anything?
Incredible.
all right, well,
The thing is, it's kind of like A-Rod right now, suspended 211 games. You are done for a year and a half. And then literally like a month later after A-Rod's like, how about not? Then the MLB is like, we'll suspend you less. Please, just come back to the game. We would love to have you a part of this league. And it's almost like the MLB, they act like they have no stance on A-Rod. Why don't you take that kid and throw him out of the game? I mean, if you're just so passionate about having such a clean game, if you know exactly what you're doing by penalizing this kid, why don't you go ahead and flex your fists? Why don't you go ahead and just throw him out of the game? Because to be quite honest with you, it's kind of like one of those structures where you have somebody raining down on you, saying, hey, you can't do this. It's kind of like the law. Imagine the law going all the way down on you and then immediately changing their rules to give you not just a second chance, but to basically give you a penalty that's not even worth the crime that you committed.
Steven, thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it. We got to go.
Thank you very much for having me on.
That's Steven Hughes. He's on the channel. He's part of National Sports. Yeah, look, I know we're probably the only two non-MLB supporters. Would you agree? Or one of the few?
One of the few? How about one of the many?
No. I'm saying on this channel. I'm not saying...
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I know everyone's going to say, like, you're going to have because we have so many baseball shows on here, guys talking about baseball.
I mean, this has been the first time in like a decade we have seen so many storylines out of the MLB. Normally, during even the hype of the baseball season, nobody gives a rip. Like, to be quite honest with you, we've had Yasiel Puig and that Dodger team that has just taken the world by storm, and then we've had A-Rod, Brian Braun, the PEDs. I mean, this hasn't happened in years. These many interesting storylines. People just taking the hype of the baseball organizations and running with it.
Yeah, I'll admit, the MLB, I've heard a lot of people say that they only care about their local team. Like, if you're a Chargers fan, you do care about the Kansas City Chiefs. I've never heard any NFL or NBA or NHL fan
don't even watch for the light of day a team that still implements their most favorite team.
Yeah, I feel like the other leagues, their fans, they don't just care about their favorite team. They care about what's going on in the league. It almost seems like with MLB fans and even some MLB writer, like, they only care about the team that they're covering or the team that they're rooting for. It's kind of like the league's going to go dead. It kind of already is. The ratings, MLB on Fox, their ratings have dipped so much. I mean, ESPN Sunday Night Baseball.
That for some very interesting NFL preseason games, that may be about the same ratings as a playoff.
No,
game
even
in
more.
Major League Baseball.
Even more. I've seen NFL preseason games have more ratings more ratings than an MLB baseball primetime game. That speaks a lot about where the MLB is.
That's sad. And it's been along longer than the than football as well. I mean, I don't know where it's headed, but obviously it would be very interesting to see if we don't have a professional baseball organization anymore. I mean, things have just gone south because the only problem with baseball is that they can't take a stand. It seems like they are subject to the players, where they commit and they are willing to sacrifice for the players. When, to be quite honest with you, it should be the front office that runs the league, not the players that run the league. Because obviously we can see A-Rod will tear apart the baseball meatheads to bits when we're talking about like all these PEDs and things, saying, you know what, I use PEDs, but I don't care because I'm not going anywhere outside of playing this game.
You know what, I'm a little angry at Bud Selig because, you know, you look at these other commissioners. I know David Stern's gone. The great Adam Silver is coming to the NBA. He's going to do a great job, by the way. But Roger Goodell in the NFL, he gets so much heat. They say, oh, he's a terrible commissioner. Oh, But the one thing that you got to respect about Goodell, he comes down hard and he's consistent. That's the one thing you got to respect about that. Bud Selig, there's zero consistency. And you know what? If I'm a player, I'm going to say, who gives a care about my commissioner? He doesn't pose anything on me. I can do whatever I want. If I was in the MLB, that's what I would say. My commissioner does not strike fear into my eyes. Roger Goodell does.
Absolutely, yes. Made a very, very good point. Obviously, that's the lone reason why the Major League Baseball organization is headed down south. Just a really sad position for baseball.
Let's move on. What is the biggest issue? And this could be media, this, that, just in sports in general. What is it? Just tell me what just sparks a fire in you.
But we're going to take a long, hard look. I mean, overall in sports, for the most part, when you talk about football and basketball and how they always give to the fans, they're always changing media, they're always progressing, they're always being forward thinking to adjust to the fans and give what we want. And baseball doesn't seem to do that good of a job. And to be quite honest with you, I don't spend a lot of time focusing on problems because that's not my expertise at all. But when we're looking about things that these sports aren't doing, it's being able to come up front, to be absolutely honest. I mean, when we're talking about, in my mind, a really huge situation that until recently has gone under the radar as far as concussions and leg injuries. To be quite honest with you, even though concussions are, to some people, a very long-term life effect that destroys their life, the argument is, for a lot of these players, and they are taking the side of brain injuries, is that why am I so concerned about being able to live 5 or 10 years longer on the back end of my life when I'm going to be suffering in a wheelchair anyways, where I could be living on a yacht here on the front end? Because when it comes to knee injuries, one blowout and you are nowhere near the athlete that you have trained your entire life to be. And James Jones was the latest one. I don't want to quote him exactly. I don't know exactly what he said, but he basically said, why I would much rather take a brain injury, Cameron, than have issues with my knees for the rest of my life.
What I don't like either, and I've had I've interviewed Benny Ricardo on Spreaker before, and those of you, I mean, really falling back to the archives, but, you know, I don't like it when these NFL players complain and say, hey, we don't get... I mean, to me, I'm a little torn up about this issue because they say, hey, you know, we don't get enough benefits. Hey, you guys don't, you know, the concussion issue is a big thing, but the NFL doesn't care about us. To me, I just say, really, guys, you signed up for that. And
signed up for the game. Why are you complaining about the way it is?
I know, and you've got the opportunity, just think about it. You've got the opportunity to play one of the best sports at the highest level. At the highest level where
obviously they wanted it.
millions and millions of people, millions of eyes are looking down on that field. And you signed up for that amazing opportunity, and yes, there are going to be consequences. There are going to be consequences for everything you do, and you should understand that before you head on to the job. So, that's the thing that bothers me the most. I mean, to me, the NFL is going to be fine, and
They'll
even
figure out a way. Just the thing is, for right now, the NFL is starting to become run by the fans, who obviously, since they're not in the game, they have no real big-time athletic ability to begin with, or even the mindset of an NFL player, the toughness and whatever it takes to get there. They obviously want to be a part of the game, and a lot of players are frustrated. It came from when they first saw these changes in the rules. We're saying, to be quite honest with you, it's becoming a soft game. I'm tired of all these rule changes, and to be quite honest, when's the time where we stop listening to the fans and their complaints about the league, their complaints about Riley Cooper said the N-word, let's ban him for life, or other situations here, and let's start using our common sense, because these NFL commissioners in the front office, they make their money for a reason. They're worth millions of dollars for something, and that's making the league what it was in the past. Now we're starting to be run by people who are threatening to sue. We'll sue you if you don't change your rules now. Well, how about we're already done?
I think the rules. I think that the rules. You're right. I think as fans we overreact. I still think the safety of the game is important. I wouldn't go so much as saying it's a soft game, but I would say this though. I think for practices, and I know the veterans hate it, but to me they need to wear pads, a lot of the time, and I think they need to have full contact practices. And people may say, you're crazy, that's going to cause an injury. But I heard, Trevor Price say this, that, iron sharpens iron, and basically what he's saying is that if you take contact, and even the smallest hit, you'll at least be mentally and physically prepared for that in a game.
There's a reason why the preseason there's far more injuries than the regular season.
Yeah.
When it comes to not being used to the hitting.
Yeah, to me, I just feel like, personally, they need to have full... I actually think if you have full pads, you'll limit the injuries in a way, because maybe a hit that wouldn't be a huge injury, or you'll at least be prepared to be hit in that type of way. So I personally think they should have full contact practices, because iron sharpens iron. That's what Trevor Price said.
Absolutely. To be honest with you, the practice schedule is also dictated by the fans too. We're saying, you know what, let's limit the amount of practices you have, limit the amount of full contact practices, because fans have started to get more and more of an inside look at every aspect of the NFL, including practices, and they're saying, look at this, we're seeing a lot of physicality, and we're seeing people that are banging heads on heads in practice. I don't want to see that anymore. Well, how about that's what the game is? Full contact sport. Saying that the game has become soft is a complete understatement. But the thing is, the NFL is evolving into something we really don't want, because a lot of the big athletes and the really good players in this league are going down with knees, coming back, and never being the same. Adrian Peterson was one in a long list.
And
of
Tom
guys,
Brady.
Yeah, one of the very, very short list, of guys that have come back and actually have been productive.
Yeah,
And the other thing is, actually, one more thing I want to add, is that as an NFL fan, first of all, I want to give an example. Troy Aikman played with 8 concussions over his career and still was a fantastic quarterback. So concussions, in my mind, don't, in a lot of instances, make as much of a change in a person's life as you would think. He's become a really good broadcaster. Obviously, a position that uses a lot of mental capacity. And the
Yeah.
other thing is, it just seems to me, as far as the players are concerned, and their viewpoint, they would much rather have brain injuries versus having pretty much their athleticism shot just on one hit, like a scary blow to the knee that Dustin Keller faced just a week ago.
Yeah, I'm slightly different. I think concussions are a pretty big deal. That's just me, what I think on a personal note.
The NFL's done enough just with...
Yeah, I think they've done a great job, but I just don't think they're getting the credit that they deserve. I'm saying I love... to me, right now, if you just said, if the NFL just said, hey, everybody, these are the rules, we're never going to change them, even 50 years from now, we're not going to change these rules, I think these rules are still good. I think these rules are still good, even if they don't change it 50 years from now. To me, I think these rules are safe for the game, and where the game is at, it's never been before. I mean, people go crazy for NFL. It's like a drug on TV. People's eyes are glued to the television set. I mean,
half of the world watches the Super Bowl.
I know.
So you guys know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a drug, without having to actually take it as a substance. I mean, it's kind of crazy and incredible. I mean,
things that you want. It's obviously sports, it's violence, and it's high speed. I mean, what else do you want?
And it takes a lot of mental effort and it's not like, you're in the octagon or you're in the ring just trying to clock somebody right in the nose. I mean, there's a big time strategy. There's a lot to it, and there's a beautiful poetry and motion and artistry about the game. Okay, I'm gonna stop.
Steve Zabel right now.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I am right now.
This is the game. It's a beautiful work of art.
Yeah, I'm. Where's my NFL Films music? So NFL announcers are just. There's some guys. You said that the most overrated announcer is. You said you're gonna save it for later. Do you want to say it right now?
Oh, put me on the spot here. Why don't you go ahead and I'm trying to find exactly why I believe this announcer is just so awful.
I want to just talk about these two announcers real quick. Jim Nantz, he's not over. I'm just talking about these two guys. They're really polarizing guys. Jim Nantz, as you know, he does NFL, college. He's on CBS. He does some golf. It's the Masters on CBS. He always says that. You always hear the promos. It's a tradition unlike any other, the Masters. And you hear that every single darn spring of your life on CBS. So, Jim Nantz, I like him a lot. I mean, he's a good guy. Maybe not off the mic. Some of you might know that he's really had trouble with his relationships and all that. Jim is, I don't know, he's a really good announcer. He's just funny to impersonate. I mean, I just love it when he comes out and says, it's the Masters on CBS. And he says it every single time. No one gets tired of it. And it is, yes, Jim, a tradition unlike any other. But Gus Johnson on Fox, he used to be on CBS. He's one of my favorite announcers. Kevin Harlan's my favorite, but Gus Johnson is my second favorite. He, in the booth just goes crazy after calls, but he's under control. I think he's a better basketball announcer than football. He does soccer on Fox too. So you always hear Gus, unbelievable, or he goes, or with the Stokely catch. You remember the Stokely catch?
Absolutely, yeah.
When he's like...
We're going to supply you guys with all of these radio calls, by the
way. Wait, okay, let me... Real quick, with Gus.
Or go ahead.
Well, okay, just real quick with Gus. With the Stokely catch, it was Orton in the gun, 2 out to his right, 2 out to his left, Orton looks, Orton fires, batted up, and then all of a sudden, he sees Stokely catch the ball, and he's like, Stokely running down the sideline. No one's going to catch him. Touchdown, Broncos.
Call from Cincinnati. Here you go.
All right, okay.
Catch up, Stokely! Wow! Touchdown! Denver! Unbelievable!
That's one of my favorite calls of all time. That's by far, and he's a great announcer. If we could ever get him on the show, that'd be an honor. Or Bob Laney. Colts win. Colts win. I want to get Bob Laney on. I just want to get.
I'm not even kidding. Like late at night, when he has to scream for his kids to go to bed. I mean, I can just imagine. I would intentionally not go to bed to hear him scream. It's just how entertaining it is.
Oh my god! I do the same thing. I do. Colts win. Colts. No, in my dreams I hear Colts win. Colts win all the time.
Oh man!
Oh
Imagine
my
having
god.
an announcer in your living room.
Oh my
We're
god.
going to show you guys the difference between perhaps the most annoying announcer we've ever heard in the National Football League, and then, in my mind, one of the greatest we've ever seen. This is first Bob Laney, the great Colts announcer. Manning looks for the quick throw. Throws to Reggie. Reggie Wade! Oh, yes! Reggie scores with 13 seconds left to go. The extra point to come. The game is tied at 34. I mean, yes. Annoying. Shut up. And then, here's one of our favorites. A beloved figure in not only football, but also basketball. Here we go, Kevin Hart.
Oh my god.
Flips it out to Patty with the triple. And here comes the Birdman. Flapping his wings and soaring for a sweet flush.
Nick, I almost. Nick, I gotta say this. I almost one time got Kevin Harlan on my show. I was gonna be so excited. I'm gonna give it a try again, but you could contact him through Twitter. I mean, he's on sometimes, like, you know, he'll take like 5 days off of Twitter. And if you ever get the chance, my God, that's a big time opportunity.
Oh man, Kevin Harlan, in my mind, I think is, as far as versatility goes, one of the best we've ever seen, because we just haven't heard a voice like that. To be quite honest with you, I think he should be. I mean, we've seen a dying breed of announcers on CBS and Fox. I think Troy Aikman, and not only him, but it's Troy Aikman and the head of Fox.
Joe Buck.
His name. But Joe Buck, absolutely. But I mean, what even suits this persona more is I think that Dan Dierdorf and Jim Nantz on their way out the door, and then we're seeing guys like Kevin Harlan, young, energetic spirits that are, I think, gonna like take off. I mean, like a Birdman. We're just gonna see more of that. I just think that Kevin Harlan, a very underrated announcer.
But I think
to say the least.
I've always said this. I've always thought this, that they put like the calmer. I'm not saying that Kevin Harlan isn't calm, but like for Jim Nantz
is Al Michaels. I mean,
yeah, but like Jim Nantz, like he does Steelers Ravens, and it's because, you know, it's like a slow game. It's like a blood type game. It's like McGahee with the run for 2 yards. But when it's like Jaguars Dolphins, you know, Kevin Harlan has to do that because. No, Kevin Harlan has to do that because he's got to make the fans excited. I mean, who's going to watch that game if Kevin Harlan's not calling Jaguars Dolphins? Are you going to sit through 3 hours of that?
No.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a very good point. I mean, that's why Gus Johnson, you catch so many game winners. Broncos, Bengals, and then obviously the Texans and Dolphins. You got one of the two teams there. The game winner, I think, for...
Oh, no, it was Texans when he's like this. I think... Here, let me try to remember this one. And then you could probably play it again. Let's see how accurate. I think he's like this. Garrard in the gun. Drops back. Will fire. Mike Sims Walker. Batted down. Oh, we caught it. Oh, we caught it. Oh. And then he started screeching.
It sounds a little bit more like this.
Unbelievable. He is a great announcer. I hope he does well at Fox. I know you haven't seen Fox.
If you have your own YouTube sensation remixes, different music videos of you, and you're just an announcer, I mean, you obviously...
No, there's a Gus Johnson website. I'm not kidding. Go to Gus Johnson soundboard. It's called GusJohnsonGetsBuckets.com. You have all the sound bites of all of his calls. You could just click on anything. Absolutely great website. You gotta see it. GusJohnsonGetsBuckets.com. One of the best. And real quick, I want to talk about this because Gus...
Do they have a Kevin Harlan Gets Air.com too?
I don't know. They should. They should have Jim Nance wants to talk about the Masters every 2 seconds.com too.
Jim Nance puts me to sleep.com.
No, no. You know which guy I like? Greg Gumbel. And if you go on YouTube, there's some really weird fanboys of Greg Gumbel. I don't know how he attracts those guys. There's this one really weird video about Greg Gumbel where the description, I don't want to even say on the air. It's almost like this human being has an obsession with Greg Gumbel. I mean, you gotta see it. I'll show you.
I wonder if he has a girlfriend.
I don't know. Okay.
Spend his time, having dreams about...
I mean, Greg Gumbel. No, I like Greg a lot. Greg's a really top announcer.
Absolutely.
Real quick, because Gus works on Fox now, and the new network, Fox Sports 1, it's been actually taking some taking some viewers away from ESPN. I think I was really skeptical about the network. I said, this is not going to be good. It's terrible. It's Fox. They're going to do some Fox typical things and try to stir up the pod. Actually, Fox Sports 1 is my new favorite network. And those of you, if you haven't seen Fox Sports 1, take it from me. Fox Sports 1 is the new America's top sports network.
It's head over heels better than what CBS tried to do with the NFL today. They did it every Wednesday night. It was actually on Showtime. I don't know if you remember that, Cameron. It would air for a couple of years. It was an hour-long presentation, no commercials, where it would just show recaps of every games, previews for the next week, and then their reactions to that week's action, obviously. But Fox Sports West...
One,
excuse me.
Yeah.
They seem to do a really nice job. They brought in some really nice personalities. I mean, Donovan McNabb, I always found him as an interesting character. And then I don't know who else is on that crew. I mean, I should probably stop talking right now. But they seem to do a pretty nice job bringing in some really nice characters for their show.
And then Gary Payton is just hilarious. And then you got, I really like Jay. This is, how there's Sports Center for ESPN. It's called Fox Sports Live. That's their sports news show, their number one show. They brought in TSN, the really funny guys, Jay Onright and Dan O'Toole. They're sports anchors. They're really good at what they do. And you know what? They bring the fun into the living room. So I got to say, Fox Sports 1, incredible job. really impressed, and they're on their way to success really soon.
Actually, one other show I do want to mention, it's not on Fox or CBS. They have made segments called His or Hers on different radio shows for ESPN. But I'm trying to get the names real quick so that way I can actually give you legitimate facts. But these two do a fantastic job at reporting some really nice stories. They will go a half hour on, it's Michael Smith and Jamil Hill. They'll go on different discussions. They'll talk about the numbers. It'll be Beyond the Numbers, where they'll talk about their reactions on some of the most interesting numbers around the league. I mean, most recently, they talked about Yasiel Puig's, his batting average is around like 150 or something like that. I mean, they do a really nice job. Michael Smith and Jamil Hill, really nice job on His and Hers. Also, Beyond the Numbers on ESPN.
Yeah. I mean, I've always, respected Jamel Hill and Michael Smith. Not Hugh Douglas. Did you hear about Hugh Douglas?
Hugh Douglas. I've never been a fan of him either. Just
he bothers me. And
riling up the crowd for no reason.
Do you know what he did though? He got fired.
Fired? Wow.
Yeah, he got fired from ESPN. He actually tried to get into a bar fight with Michael Smith and said some really nasty things to Michael at a bar.
Wow.
Yeah, that's really bad. So
I mean, Michael Smith stirs up a lot of things on that show that they have, His and Hers, but I never found people like that to be at all attractive. I mean, to be quite honest with you, the people that can't hold their temper, I mean, what do they do? I mean, that's just, there's no room for that. I mean, being the moralist that I am over here. Giving you guys my 2 cents.
All right. You know what? I think it's... Do you have anything... I think you wanted to say something. Is there anything you want to say before we go?
I mean, I'd love to run the show here. I'd love to be the main guy talking. So, let's give our final points around In the Paint right now. We're on In the Paint right now. So, obviously a fantastic show, guys. I mean, we love to have you chiming in, giving your 2 cents on your thoughts around the world of sports. We're getting towards playoff time in Major League Baseball. Actually, I do want to stir up one quick controversy, Cameron.
Okay.
I know you know more about baseball than I do. I mean, for all the MLB enthusiasts out there, which is everyone on national sports except for us, do you have any under-the-radar teams that might make the playoffs? I know.
Well, playoffs are.
The wild card race is pretty intriguing right now. I mean, just to say the least. I haven't been at all a fan, but I think it's going to be right down to the wire for about 5 or 6 teams, not just in the MLB, but just in the NL, just in the National League right now.
Yeah, I can't believe we're even talking about. I don't think we've ever talked about baseball on here, but. I gotta say this, I'm just saying in general, which team, I like the Pirates going to the World Series. That's my pick. I'm gonna ride with that bandwagon. I don't know about you, but I'm gonna ride with the Pittsburgh Pirate bandwagon.
Very interesting. I just think that typically it's not necessarily the most talented team, but sometimes in sports it's the hottest team. And I have to go with a team that I've been the fans of for a number of years, a fantastic history. It's the LA Dodgers.
Oh.
They have just done a fantastic job. From top to bottom, I mean, the Dodger hype has been on Yasiel Puig, but Manny Ramirez, he's done a fantastic job pitching as well for the Dodgers. Did I get that right?
Manny
Ramirez. Yes, sir. All right, well, I think that's a good way to wrap up here.
It's okay. We all make mistakes. I said one time that like Russell Westbrook played football or something. So I've made some mistakes too. We all have.
Wow.
Oh, hey, I'm not like I know you're lucky I'm not a baseball like some of the baseball guys on here. If you said that, they would be all over you for an hour. But you know what? I let that go. We all make mistakes. Just like Ryan Braun, see how I tied that all in there.
Oh, man.
Beyond the Box Score with Cameron and Nick. You'll find it somewhere, wherever we are. We try to.
Catch us. We will be back next week, ladies and gentlemen. You catch Cameron Sadeghi, that fantastic man. We'll be back on In the Paint, too, sometime in the coming week or so. Make sure to keep your eyes glued to the computer screen because you are going to take another look at Spreaker.com's National Sports in the coming days. We have a number of national sports broadcasts coming up next. And if you guys want to hear any more NFL announcers, please let us know. We have a comment board at Spreaker.com along with a Facebook page.
Yep, and that's it. We talked some nonsense for an hour on Beyond the Box Score, big sports issues. That's what we talk here. Better listen next time if you didn't, or however the way you listen, live, archived, through your phone in a car at midnight. I don't know how you listen to us. If you do, thanks, but we really appreciate it.
You might want to get some sleep.
Yeah.
Actually, one final thing.
Okay.
Before we wrap up here, just a little preview for next week. We'll be talking, I'm sure, more about the NFL regular season coming up and whatever injuries we have, including what I believe might be more knee injuries this week. We'll dive into more about these announcers, obviously, and then any other issues going around in sports. We'll make sure to give you all that more starting next week. Just stay tuned.
Beyond the Box Score with Cameron and Nick. See you, everybody.